Squad, welcome back to InhaleGamesHQ. You could call me COMM, and in today's video, we're going over the patch notes for Apex Legends Season 13, Saviors. Of course, at the surface, we received a map update where a giant beast lays dead as the new point of interest for us to explore on the northwest shore. We also get introduced to Bangalore's brother Jackson as the new legend Newcastle. Taking on the sins of Harris Valley, he fights for the people, he fights for his family, shielding and healing his squad. We also receive big changes to Ranked with the promises of more. However, with Ranked Reloaded, Respawn is focused on two pillars, changes that are nearly all systems we are in for a better and more accurate competition, with rewards for team play as well. I've made a separate video on all of these if you want to check out the cards and watch anything specifically, but with that, let's dive now beneath the surface with some balance changes, arena adjustments, and bug fixes. First, we're going to see that our map rotation for the season is Stormpoint, Olympus, and then Worlds. They have also noted that the 2-hour timer rotation has been taken out. As we dive into the balance updates, we read here that for the Fortified Legends, Fortified will no longer reduce headshot damage. Our crafting rotation has brought the flatline and longbow out and put the Rampage and R301 in, and our gold weapon rotation brings the EVA 8, the Bowcheck, flatline, P2020, and Spitfire to the field. Notice, squad, that there is a buff to helmets, blue helmets headshot reduction increase from 40 to 50, and for purple helmets 50 to 65, so definitely make sure to be wearing your helmet. As we move on to the weapon balances here, we're going to start with the biggest and the baddest, the Crabe. Headshot multiplier down from 3 to 2, and the damage reduced from 145 to 140, so hopefully you're going to be living those shots. Looking at the Rampage, they've increased the reload time from 2.6 to 3.1, and they've slightly increased the handling times. The L-Star, they've reduced the headshot damage multiplier from 1.75 to 1.5, reduced the headshot distance from 64 to 57 meters, the overheat cool-off time increased from 2.5 to 3.6, and again they've slightly increased handling times. So as we look at the Devotion, the same thing again, but first, damage reduced from 16 to 15, reduced headshot damage multiplier from 1.75 to 1.5, they reduced the headshot distance from 64 to 57 meters, increased reload time from 2.8 to 3.2, and here you see those increased handling times. So the draw time increased from 0.8 to 0.7, holster time increased from 0.75 to 6.5, raise time increased from 0.65 to 0.55, and lower time increased to 0.6 to 0.5. Sticking with our LMGs, or as I like to call them, the Dragons, Spitty the Dragon is back on ground loot, squad, and a bunch of changes obviously to it has been made in those handling times as well as the damage, and they've actually removed the barrel stabilizer. So looking at the Spitfire here, the damage has been decreased from 19 to 18, the purple and gold magazine capacity reduced from 55 to 50, the crouch hipfire spread has been increased, so when you're up close, crouching and up and down, and it's going to kind of mess you up a little bit. They've also completely removed that barrel attachment slot, like I said. They've reduced the headshot damage multiplier from 1.75 to 1.5, reduced headshot distance from 64 to 57 meters, just pulling it in line with all the other LMGs. Increased the reload time from 3.2 to 3.4. The draw time increased from 0.8 to 0.7. Holster time increased from 0.75 to 0.65. The raise time increased from 0.65 to 0.55. And the lower time increased from 0.6 to 0.5. On the Havoc, they've improved recoil at the start of the pattern. Dual shells have been removed from floor loot, and the Mozambique and Peacekeeper have increased limb damage from 0.8 to 1.0, and the Mastiff's been put into the crate while the Spitfire's been put back onto the floor, like I said. So with the Mastiff going into the crate, it too had some changes. So looking at the Mastiff, they've tightened the blast pattern. The ammo capacity has been reduced from 6 to 4, but the stockpile ammo is at 28. Damage repellent is increased from 11 to 14, the increased pellet size, and the rate of fire has also been increased from 1.1 to 1.2. That's going to wrap up weapons. Really quickly though, for equipment, cells and syringes have been decreased in the spawn rates by about 18%, so hopefully just more room for other loot to present itself moving forward. The legend balance is now just a couple here we see for Rampart and Valkyrie. Rampart, the spin up time decreased from 1.75 to 1.25. Amp cover deployed health increased from 45 to 120, and amped cover deployed time decreased from 4.25 to 3.6. You're going to be able to get those walls out faster, they're going to be able to hold up on health for longer, and you're going to be able to spin up faster. So hopefully she's going to be a little bit more viable, especially with Newcastle coming into play and Gibby also being so good. Valkyrie here though, we can see that they can no longer freely spin while launching during Skyward Dive. For the last bit of our balance changes here, you can see that they've made some changes to how out of bounds works. More specifically, that you can't do anything when you're cheating those out of bounds areas. That 45-second timer or whatever it is, using a Velk or a Pathfinder to kind of stay up where you shouldn't be, isn't going to be an option anymore. You're not going to be able to use your weapons, you're not going to be able to use your ordnance or survival items, your legend abilities, healing items, passives, anything, squad. So out of bounds is out of bounds. And for World's Edge, they've redesigned windows at Lava Siphon Control Tower to focus the sightlines, added some additional cover around Lava Siphon's lava pit, and the gondola loot has been tweaked. Chances of finding high tier armor there has been notably reduced, but the Climatizer and Lava Siphon will remain as high tier loot points of interest. With weapon, legend, and system balances underway, our deep dive for Season 13 has been looking great, but before we get to the bug fixes, we're going to quickly take a breath for some arena adjustments. Just a big list of price changes really, so we'll put them up on the screen, and again, if I'm going too fast, feel free to pause at any point, or check the description for timestamps down below if you want to recap at any point. But looking now at the arena adjustments for Thermites, they've gone down to 75 from 100. The charge rifle level 1, 2, and 3 have all been decreased, 200 to 150 and 450 to 400. The longbow base has been decreased, 400 to 300. Level 1, 2, and 3, all in increments of 50, have also been decreased. The Sentinel level 3, 400 down to 350. And the Bowcheck bow level 2 and 3, again in those 50 point increments, have been decreased, so 250 down to 200 and 300 down to 250. As we move on to the triple take, the base value has moved down to 500 from 6, level 1 250 down to 2, 300 to 250, and level 3 400 to 300. The Devotion, with all of its changes, has actually been increased 150 to 200 for level 1, and for level 2, 250 to 350. So a little bit more pricey there, as they've tried to get it a little bit less standoutish in the game, especially in the arenas. The L-Star level 1 has been decreased 200 to 150, and the Havoc base has been increased from 350 to 400. We also have the Hemlock level 2 and 3, again in those 50 point increments, being decreased 250 to 200 and 350 to 300. And lastly, the Prowler level 2, decreased from 300 to 250, and level 3, 350 to 300. And with that, all the arena adjustments are concluded, and we move on to bug fixes. Another decent sized list here, so let's get started. They've made a fix for players inside of Bangalore's smoke unintentionally getting aim assist on targets outside of smoke. Fixed a bug where Velk could no longer use jump towers if she had been previously shot down during her ultimate. Fix for Volt animation for cases where the weapon and reticle have a jittery animation when the player was crouched. A fix for cases where weapon and attachments can be dropped/switched during charge tower interactions, leading to animation glitch. They fixed a charge rifle legendary skin, Curse of the Amazon, where the upper part of the weapon blocked camera view when aiming down sights. They fixed a bug for cases when the user accesses the replicator and pulls up their inventory before the UI for the replicator shows up. they could actually drop their weapon and be stuck in a crouched position. On Canyonlands, a fix for cases where players could get blocked when trying to activate Valk's ultimate. We see here on the screen a bug fix for when season trackers were no longer showing what season stats they were tracking. They fixed a bug where the Sentinel could charge instantly when vaulting. On Xbox One specifically, we read here that they fixed a case where players sometimes had to skip the Legend Select phase due to being stuck on the waiting for players screen. Additionally, they fixed issues when knocking a player on an enemy team and then dying before the kill can lead to a kill being rewarded to another team instead. For arenas here, they fixed an issue where boosted loader was missing on Wingman. They fixed an issue for finishers that weren't counted as damage towards challengers. Fixed a bug where the purple Evo shields glow through closed care packages, loot pins, and lifeline care packages. They fixed a case where players could get killed by a death box if coming into contact with it on an airship. And they fixed a bug for an issue with players getting killed when throwing a caustic barrel up against an opening door. To end the list of bug fixes, we're going to move on to some of the Legend bug fixes, starting here with Crypto. They fixed a case where Crypto's heirloom would appear stuck in the middle of his body while his drone is deployed. Fixed issue where inspecting his heirloom with the dead bright skin equipped could also show missing arm texture. Fixed for cases when players could recall their drone instantly after activating their ultimate. Fixed bug for when Crypto is using his legendary skin and while being revived by Mirage, he turns invisible except for his sunglasses, which remain visible during the revive. For Fuse, they fixed a bug where using Fuse's tactical in water caused the audio to get overwhelmingly loud. And they also fixed a bug where players can extend mother load ranges if used on flyers, Crypto's drones, loot drones, and Loba's bracelet. For Horizon, they fixed a case when Horizon's ultimate disappears if the player opens a door next to it. Mirage, they fixed a bug where the shield regeneration from Watson's ultimate would reveal Mirage's location when he is invisible while reviving. And they fixed a bug for when Mirage's decoys would sprint faster when the player is armed with an item than when they were unarmed. And for Pathfinder here, they made a fix for an issue where grappling grounded loot rollers can cause the player to get flung at high velocity. Definitely let me know if you've had any of these issues or you're looking forward to any of the balancing changes, or maybe you're an arena buff and you're pleased to see some of these price changes finally come into effect. But something I'm finally excited about is the new custom match system. So custom matches are replacing the previous private match system. The custom match quality of life improvements include the UI and design improvements. Custom match is now saving team names and match settings for when returning to the match lobby, as well as match flow improvements. They've added new launch parameters to pre-select viewing targets for observer, updated the color palette used by observers when viewing teams. Additionally, they fixed the color duplication issue previously seen on map overview, and they've updated the team elimination text with a unique color for anonymous mode in custom match. So this is going to be super exciting, squad, to see. But that's actually going to be it for today's video. From the balance of weapons and legends, Spooty the Dragon coming back to me, arena changes, bug fixes, and more. We had a long one, and it could have been even longer if we went into depth with the ranked reloaded changes. Again, definitely make sure to check those out in the video at the end. But that's going to do it, squad. Remember to drop a like if you enjoyed the video, gained any Apex intel. It really means a lot. So thanks for being here. Heck, and subscribe for the latest Apex news and highlights, and we'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay gaming. COMMs out.